What's up? Welcome back. Many of you subscribed to me and have followed me for a little bit from my strike pack. I do a lot of stuff with the strike pack. I make a lot of videos on the strike pack, but a lot of you that watch these strike pack videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you'd like to really quickly hit that subscribe button and then go ahead and drop a like on the video, it would be very appreciated. I also get a lot of comments about the strike pack. One of those comments has been people concerned about the length of their fingers and the size of their hands. They're concerned that they won't be able to reach around the controller and actually press the paddles. Some people have also been curious on how I actually hold the controller and which fingers I use to press my paddles. But we will get to my controller grip in a few minutes because it was recently brought to my attention that Collective Minds makes alternate paddles for the PS4 strike pack. Now at first I was a little confused on what this alternate paddle meant. Was it just a new color? Was it a completely different style? And so it turns out it is actually a different style. Down here in the features it says replace your PS4 strike pack FPS Dominator paddles with an alternate design that allows for shorter, faster access to the paddles than the traditional design. It includes one left paddle and one right paddle in the alternate design. Choose from 4 exciting colors. I'm not sure about that last part. These colors don't look all that exciting, but it is cool that they offer it in something other than black. So just looking at it right off the bat, I can't spot the difference, but because of all the little curves and stuff, I'm sure it's hard to spot the difference until they're actually on the controller. With the typical strike pack, the paddles come down and they just rest right along the sides of where the controller legs come down. This differs from other paddles that tend to be more on the back of the controller, like the PS4 DualShock back button attachment, as well as the Dawn remap kit that has 4 buttons but they all lay on the back instead of flush with those controller legs down on the inside. This means that when you go to press the paddles, your fingers have to wrap all the way around the controller and back inside to be able to click the buttons. And obviously with that comes a problem for people with smaller hands. And that brings up my concern with these alternate paddles, is that it doesn't actually say anywhere that these are for people with smaller hands. It says it allows for shorter, faster access to the paddles. So I'm not exactly sure what that could mean, and I guess there's no better way to find out than to actually buy them. And boom, they're here. So let's go ahead and open these things and see what they are about. So here they are. While looking at these side by side, you can definitely tell that the alternate paddle, that the white one is bent at a sharper angle than the black one is. So on the strike pack, it just has these 2 little magnets, and that's actually where the paddles get placed. So let's go ahead and put on these alternate ones. And that's all the installation they need. And so right off the bat, you can tell they do look shorter and they don't hang as far down, which means your fingers don't have to wrap around as far as they would for the original. So first setting my hands in, I have to say they feel really nice. The little crevice that the sharper curve creates makes for a really comfortable spot to be able to rest your fingers. So let's hop into Fortnite and see how they hold up against the original paddles. So my paddle functions are still the same. Obviously it's still the same strike pack. So my left paddle is to jump and my right paddle is to edit. Hopping over into creative, I think I'm just gonna build a little bit. Wow. I guess I have to say, first impression is that these things feel really nice. The description of them was that they were faster and shorter than the original paddles, but I thought that'd make for a more uncomfortable feel, but it's actually the exact opposite. I think as of right now, I'm liking these more than my black original paddles, which by the way, I've been using for almost 2 years now. So the sharper curve on the paddle matches the curve of the controller, so that's why that's in place, but they fall towards the back side of the controller rather than right down the leg of the controller as the normal paddles do, which allows your fingers to make more contact with them, making them easier to press, and you kind of feel like you have more control control over the paddles. Whereas with the original ones, you were just hitting them with your fingertips. I'll take some video so you're able to see where the paddles sit compared to the normal original paddles. And this will hopefully give you an idea if your fingers are still too small or if you'll like the feel of them. So hopefully those videos and that kind of little comparison through the videos does something. I personally am going to continue to use these because just on that first little free build that I did, I feel like I had so much more control over the paddles, which is a little hard to explain. But every once in a while on the Strikepack, it's not too difficult to accidentally press it, because it's just with your fingertips, and often when you move the rest of your hands, sometimes your fingertip can twitch or can just accidentally hit it, and it doesn't take much to press these paddles. With the design and you getting more of your finger on the actual paddle, it definitely feels better, and it feels very quick. I do that same triple edit maneuver all the time, and with these paddles it just feels like I can click them faster, and that results in me becoming better and faster at editing. That was only with the editing mechanic in the game. I'm sure with the shooting mechanic, with the combat mechanic, all that, being able to press the paddles quicker is always an advantage. So I think for $10 these are definitely a solid pickup, especially if you have those smaller hands, those smaller fingers. These are definitely easier to reach, so these could be the solution to your problem. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, if you're interested in how I hold the controller, I hold it like this, as you've probably seen a couple times in this video already. I have my two index fingers resting on L2 and R2, and then I just bring them up to L1 and R1 whenever it's needed. So I use my two index fingers for all of the top buttons. Then my middle fingers wrap all the way around and rest on the paddles. My middle fingers are actually what I use to press the paddles. And then my ring finger and my pinky finger just kind of wrap around the bottom and rest right there. I enjoy this grip. I feel like I have full complete control of the controller. Unlike with a couple of other grips, you're kind of just barely resting your fingers and your hands on the controller. I feel like I have a solid grip, and that just helps me when I play. The first couple days I got the Strikepack, I was trying to find a comfortable grip, as I'm sure a lot of you did the same. So this was my original grip. I was trying to reach my ring fingers around to be able to press the paddles. My pinkies chilled on the bottom, my middle fingers were kind of just stuck in between, and then I used my index fingers for all top 4 buttons. But with this grip came some discomfort for my middle fingers. They kind of just felt jammed in the middle, and they didn't really have a place to sit. Also, I didn't feel like I was able to press my paddles all that well, just because it's a little hard to control your ring fingers while you're moving your other fingers. It's easy to get confused and move the wrong finger, and you mess up a lot. So then after a couple days, I moved to this grip, and I have enjoyed it a lot ever since. The only issue I have ever had is right here, my knuckle rubbing on this. That is only a problem if I spend like hours on hours doing edit courses and 1v1s. Then I start to get a little mark there, and it'll start to get a little sore. Otherwise, if you're just playing pubs, it's not a problem. If you're playing competitive, anything other than edit courses and 1v1s, then you're not gonna have an issue with that. And it's not even really been that big of an issue for me. I think maybe 1 or 2 times I've had to tape up my finger, which is kind of funny to do anyway. It's really not that big of a deal. So that is what I recommend, just to hold it like this. If you do want to hold it like this could also be a way. But if you don't normally use your middle fingers for L2 and R2 and your index fingers for L1 and R1, then I wouldn't really suggest doing that, just because it's very hard to get used to doing that. And so I found this to be a perfect grip for me. Then the front of my grip just looks like that, and it's worked out great for me. If you have any questions, whether it's about the paddles, my grip, the Strikepack in general, any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. If this video helped you out, make sure to drop a like on it. I do a lot of stuff with the Strikepack. I do some stuff with other controller mods. I play a lot of Fortnite, upload content on that. So if you enjoy any or all of those things, then feel free to subscribe to me, and you won't have to miss out on any of that future content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.